Alright guys, QI stuff. I'm gonna start in Arvalhol. Um, I tried to record this morning, but my microphone was off. So I just got home for the day, and I'm gonna retry this. We're 4 hours away from collection or so, so we're gonna have to uh, fill in some missing pieces there, just so you get the whole picture. I do want to start my main city though. This is Arvalhol, and all the last 5 or 6 videos that I've made for QI are unlisted, so they're not publicly visible on YouTube. They're just for the United crew, my team here in Arvalhol. So this is all for you guys, and I just want to start my main city here and just say thank you for everything that you've done to help me get some momentum going. I've got ARC established and moving along, and most of these levels you guys have given to me. I've been starting to prime some of the ones above 10, but you can see that most of the progress on these is from you guys, so I'm extremely grateful. On a great building note though, my innovation tower is huge for me. It helped me a lot in Conrear when I first started, and then eventually I deleted it as I moved to Space Hub. But here in Arvalhol, I'm planning to stay in lower eras, so this innovation tower is absolutely brutally efficient in low eras. So I have my happiness is completely upside down. At this point, it's actually hopeless to even try to get it back under control. I need 11,000 happiness to reach Euphoria. Traz is increments of 500, but I don't even have enough prints. I can only open 3 more levels on Traz. So at this point, it's going to be a very long time before my happiness is under control, and I'm actually perfectly fine with that. Like, you guys did not do me a disservice by power leveling my innovation tower. You actually did me a huge benefit. I have so much so much available population right now that I can plant 5,000 goes a long ways in Iron Age, and I can plant a ton of these sled monuments as well as Holly Holler. So Christmas is the first event I've done. Obviously, all the hardware I have is Christmas related. The Bucks and the Heroes Tavern are from the welcome mini game when you first start a city, you know. But all my event hardware is Christmas related. So these haulers though, for 34% GBG attack plus some QI stuff as well as troops, until I get my Traz leveled up, primarily for happiness at this point, honestly, but for troop as well, and especially for like rival tasks where you'll be printing previous era troops or whatever. These things are awesome. And before, I was handcuffed to I didn't have available population, first of all, but I also didn't have space because my entire city was consumed with housing. I have 0 stock housing now. Don't have a single residential building from the main building menu, you know. Production I only have just for the rival tasks, but my happiness is so upside down that, like, it gives me a pretty negative return on that. So I'm actually getting all of my coin from Chateau and COA, and this will be my first GBG season starting tomorrow, so hopefully get some coin there as well. But for the most part, I'm getting coin and supplies from Seed Vault, Chateau, GBG events, because I know for a fact I'm not going to get it from my city. And I'm actually perfectly happy with that. Attack stats for a baby Iron Age city are actually pretty healthy. 629 over 523, and then tomorrow I'm planning to jump several eras, at least up into late Middle Ages, and plant the rest of this this hardware. I don't have a whole lot of 1-up kits, so I don't want to plant that prematurely in Iron Age and then jump 3 era, so they're all outdated. So I'm just going to wait to plant them until I jump. So attack stats should be closer to 1,000 over 1,000, honestly, tomorrow. So that's pretty exciting. All right, enough of that. Let's get into QI. I've definitely made some mistakes here in Arbahol, and I'm gonna break those down for you guys. But overall, I'm not completely disappointed. My collections are around 240 of each resource, and it's pretty balanced. So that's in terms of improving production buildings, that would be a farm plus a cottage or a couple villas, so I can kind of upgrade things equally each collection. In terms of the attack side, that's a pretty comfortable arch plus aqueduct in a morning collection, and then 2 aqueducts at night. That's the strategy, and I've built up the resources to be able to do that. So I'm not disappointed with the current progress. I planted a ballista and ran 1 repetition last round, so I've got almost 38 ballistas now, and I do want a couple more though, so I left it planted. Might build farm number 4 here tonight in this location, or aqueduct. I'm not sure. I need to brainstorm that a little bit, but I'll have the resources to do one or the other. Either way, I do want at least 1 more batch of ballistas out of this. So, mistakes made here in Arbahol. The last video I shared with you guys, I said it like 12 times that there's a possibility for a baby main city, that you'll end up with a full bar of actions, and as frustrating as that is, don't give in to the temptation where we have this troop node, right? And I could donate all of my troops and make progress on the map, burn up these actions, maybe get some rewards, right? And I understand that's tempting, but I said it like 5 times in the last video, just don't do that. And then as soon as I posted that video to YouTube and sent it to you guys, I turned around and did it, and that set me back quite a bit, actually. So last night, instead of building aqueducts, which was my original strategy, instead of doing that, I was looking at my bar and I'm like, wow, I really need to do something. I'm just sitting here with a full bar of actions building up my settlement, but for what purpose? What's the purpose of building up a settlement if you're not actually going to use it, you know? So I got impatient, spent my entire collection on archers, donated them, and today I ran 1 batch of archers in the morning just to be able to try to fight, and I got close to winning. Actually, I was really close to winning, and the difference was the 2 aqueducts that I should have planted last night. And instead of donating troops, just bite the bullet, don't do anything on the map, plant 2 more aqueducts, and I would have actually been able to fight today. As it is, I spent my actions yesterday, so I was fluid yesterday, but now I'm just sitting here today, waiting for the ability to fight. So definitely set myself back there, and the reality is, the sooner you're going to lose actions at some point in the season, one way or the other. You know, you're either going to lose them on level 10 or you're going to lose them early on, like level 3 or 4. But it's better to lose those actions earlier on and focus on establishing your settlement, because first of all, the rewards are better in the higher difficulty levels. And there's a possibility here in Arbahol that even once I stick to this aqueduct strategy, I'm still going to be, I'm only going to have a short window to actually hit the map. So I'll probably only be able to fight from 8, 9, and 10. You know, I don't think I'll be able to fight on 11 here in Arbahol. But if I had delayed, or if I had avoided donating archers and just planted the initial aqueducts, I would have been able to fight on 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I would have got an extra level of fighting in. Mistakes made, and part of the challenge here for Arbahol, this is my first QI season here in Arbahol. Part of the challenge for me here is that I'm used to Kunmir, and I'm used to, it's not so much the initial resources that you start with. Like, Kunmir does have a head start on coin and supplies to do opening day. That's a factor, but that's not really the huge thing. It's more of the fighting ability, where Kunmir has some inherent attack stats from the main city, so I don't need to supplement that as much until later levels in QI, where Arbahol doesn't have that, and that was kind of hard for me to to find the balance there here in Arvahall, where yes, I want to scale up my settlement, kind of like what Conrir is doing. We're just snowballing all of our resources into a jackpot that we can take at the end of the season and convert everything into attack boost. So I do want to work towards that here in Arvahall, but I also need to find the balance of starting the attack process a little bit sooner, right? Because it doesn't have the inherent attack stat from the main city. So we're gonna jump into Conrir real quick. I changed a few things this season, and I'm still fine-tuning Conrir a little bit too. This season is slick though. You guys are gonna like my Conrir setup. It's pretty gnarly actually. I think you guys will like it. Let's finish up here in Arvahall though. I'll have the resources to do a farm or some housing upgrades. Won't have to mess with happiness as much. I had to delete 6 tile houses this morning to do collection. Replanted 4 of them and then dropped 2 cottages as well. Won't have to manipulate as much with this 4th or 5th arch planted. So it should be a pretty healthy collection. Extra coin from the cottages, plus recuperating coin that we would have wasted deleting and rebuilding those. So it should be a pretty healthy collection. And I'm tempted to do this farm number 4, but that's the mistake that I made last night, was spending my resources on either troop donation or spending them on building up the city. The purpose of building up the city though is to plant attack and be able to participate. So instead of farm, I'm actually going to plant 2 more aqueducts, 3 if I get enough resources. I don't think I will. It should be close. I don't know if I'll have enough resources for 3 though. But if I can, I'll do 3 or 2 plus an arch. And it kind of sucks looking at this action bar, but like I said, if I had followed through with the original game plan last night, I would have actually been fighting on the map today. And essentially I'm 2 aqueducts behind. You know, I donated about 200,000 in resources worth of archers, so I'm actually 2 aqueducts behind where I should be. It's a mistake. I wasn't thrilled about it, but I mean, I wasn't thrilled about the outcome of it, but in the moment I was like, man, I gotta burn up these actions, I need to do something. And I didn't take my own advice. I hope that you guys do though. don't do that. So final thought though, you don't get progress points for building a cool settlement, you know? I wish you did, but it doesn't work like that. You get progress points by accomplishing nodes. Obviously we got the donation nodes and then the fight nodes, and you can see that these fight nodes are getting cleaned up pretty quick, but the donation nodes are usually available, and this is a blocker in the map that we're gonna have to clear to be able to continue fighting. The advantage with fighting over donating is that instead of printing 40 archers and then just donating them all, they're all dead. They're immediately dead. Just the act of donating kills them. But if I print 40 archers and then hit a fight node and only kill 10 of them, right, then I've saved that many more resources from the next collection, where I don't have to print 40 additional archers just to kill them all again. I only have to print 10 archers and kill 10 of them, you know. So the difference in those resources is applied to the settlement progression itself. That's the advantage with donating versus fighting. This node I contributed to. I printed some archers, some for myself to fight, and then some to donate. And I'm not going to go full Monty on that and donate my entire stash of troops. That's what I did last night. That's a mistake, like I said. Let the rest of the team chip in equally on this. Let's all carry that weight together, and then free up those attacking tiles for people who are actually able to fight. Not disappointed. Like I said, it's a baby city, and it's also a new recipe for me, but I'm not disappointed. I've still got over 1,000 progress points with a baby city. So I'm not disappointed, and kind of bring it full circle next season. I'm primarily dropping these honestly just for GBG. Um, Otherwise, I would wait another week and time it with a QI start. But I did get some of the Ascended kits as well, like the upgrade kits, so I should be able to sustain those for at least a few QI seasons. I think that covers it here in Arvahol. Let's jump over to Conrear. I think you guys are going to dig this. It's pretty slick. Yeah. Okay. We're back in Conrear. Before I jump into the settlement, let's do the map real quick. This is a boss node, and I have 0 attack planted in my settlement. And it's just like butter. And my main city is honestly really not. I mean, it's a nice city, but my QI stats are really not setting any world records. I still have 3 settlements to finish. I'm like halfway done through with Egypt right now, so there's players out there with way higher main attack stats than I've got. The nice thing here in Conrear, I lost 1 ballista, and I was just auto battling. I don't care what the enemy is. If it's horses or ballista, I don't care. Just auto battle it. Lost 1 ballista. So the batch of troops that I've printed, ballistas are for me to fight, archers are for donation nodes, and the couple batches of each that I've printed last me basically indefinitely. You know, that's the advantage that Conrear has over Arvahol, where Arvahol is itching to jump in on the map somewhere, but there's nothing to do except donate, and ultimately that's a disservice to the city if you do that repeatedly, because your settlement will never develop, you know. Haven't bought actions, so I've got 3,000 progress points. I know Mord and Sharman both buy actions. I do not. So that's just being able to participate consistently. So here's the settlement. I did something a little different last night's collection, and it worked out really slick actually. So I had 4 farms before. Farm 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And the way I've normally done it is take the 4 farms, use the extra supplies to upgrade some houses into cottages or villa, and then use on the subsequent round, use the surplus coin to print another farm, then use the supplies from farm number 5, more housing, etc., and just kind of scale up both of them equally. Add an arch as needed whenever your happiness is getting to that breaking point, you know. Add another arch or another expansion to make room for another arch, whatever. So yesterday morning I got expansion number 10, and then a couple villas out of that collection. Collection number 10 was I think it was 300 of each resource, so pretty expensive on the resource side for that last expansion. Like I've said in other videos, I used to go up to like 11 or 12 expansions, possibly even 13, just because resources were more usable in the higher levels. With this new system, there's no donation node and there's no purpose to scale your city up to that point anymore. So I just stopped at 10 expansions. Happiness is exactly dialed in. So yesterday morning I got expansion number 10, and then I was looking at my city, and I mean, so this was a ballista and house pair. 3 farms, right? And then farm number 4. And I was looking at my city, this whole back row is butchers. And that's where that balance comes in, right? Eventually I know that I'll replace those butchers, but for now I just kind of want to balance the coin and supplies. So 4 farms and then a bunch of cottages is a pretty balanced collection. But I was looking at those butchers and I was like, well, I already have 4 farms, and I did the math. I know I'll have the happiness to justify some extra housing, so I don't need to worry about planning an arch next round. And I think I want to use my entire collection next round to print farms. So I actually deleted all of these butchers back here and just filled all of my empty space. This was not a farm. This was also a pair of butcher and tile house. This was ballista and tile house. And I filled all of that space with tile houses. So this morning I actually collected 700,000 coin, which is pretty unnecessary, but it was a lot of fun. And that was farm number 1, 2, and 3 in a single collection. I planted 3 farms this morning in one collection. That was a lot of fun. That was actually a blast. So that's probably a system that I'm going to duplicate more in the future, and the same logic could be applied to your villas. The difference with villa and farm to me is that I don't rush my villas. I never have, just because it's really not that cost effective, honestly. Yes, it's an improvement to the cottage, but it's only double the coin on the same footprint, whereas the farm is a huge footprint. So if you're going to delete a bunch of hardware to make room for it, you kind of need to justify the production. It's also triple the output of a tailor and 6 times the output of a butcher. So productivity wise, it's worth rushing the farm. Villas, I never rush them, but the same logic would apply to that. You could theoretically kind of duplicate that idea. Have a bunch of butchers once I have all these farms, racking up all the supplies. I now have 7 farms, so there's 350,000 supplies. I can plant three villa in a single whack. You know what I mean? That was actually a lot of fun. Planting 3 farms in one collection was new for me, but that was a blast. So next steps here in Conrear. I'm probably done with upgrading anything at this point. If I do upgrade stuff, it might be a couple more villa. Not a super big priority though. Next step here in Conrear though, this entire back row that I set up with housing, there's a duplicate road back here essentially, because these houses are also connected on this road. So there's an unnecessary road in the back just to connect these temporary houses for the farm project. Next up here in Conrear is just delete tile house groups for arch and aqueduct combinations. At this point, we'll be starting to get into some higher difficulties, so I want to plant those aqueducts ahead of time. That's the next step here in Conrear. I might upgrade one more tile house to a villa, leave the cottages for now just until I need to delete them, and then use, like, these would get deleted and turned into attack ability as well. I think that's the next step here in Conrear. That was a lot of fun though. I've never done it quite like that. I've always upgraded both things equally, like upgrade some housing. And there's a lot of seasons where I'll plant a farm and a villa in the same collection, and it's because I'm getting a balanced collection to start with. This time around I was looking at it and I was like, let's just completely hammer the coin side and plant 3 farms in a single collection. Super fun. If you guys have any reservations about my system, that by itself should give you the confidence to try it. So main city stats, like I said, are higher than Arvalhall, obviously, but 310 over 130 is not unachievable, guys. You can actually get the 310 mark just by doing all of your red QI settlements. So that would be Aztec, Viking, and Egypt, the Royal Bathhouse. All 3 of those give red QI stuff, and you could actually hit that 310 mark just by doing your settlements. So I think that's actually a pretty achievable system. I think that's a wrap. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I might record tonight's collection. I don't think it's super critical, just because I've already explained all the past and future to you, so I don't really know that I need to record it. But I might make like a 4-minute video of it or whatever. Hope it helps. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.